Hey guys, Foxy's Trading here, back with another crypto video for you guys, and today we are back talking about Kaspa. Now, in my last video, we did more of a deep dive on some of the technology behind Kaspa, right? I analyzed three major technologies that Kaspa uses, right? For example, BlockDAG and transactions per second and things like that. And in today's video, I kind of want to go in another direction. I want to do a deep dive on price and market structure. Now, I do talk about market structure and price in every video, but today I just want to really do a deep dive, understand liquidity, explain it, fair value gaps, all of that good stuff. So if you're not really interested in the Kaspa market aspect, right? If you don't want to see how price moves and understand that, I understand, no problems whatsoever. Next week's video will be back to describing the technology and breaking down news and their tweets and all of that good stuff. But maybe some of you guys are interested in the market aspect, and it's going to help you for future projects, future cryptos, whatever you're looking at. So stick around. You will learn something, I hope. I'm going to try to break everything down very simply. So let's look at CoinMarketCap before we pull up the chart. So we are pretty much right across the board. Down in price quite a bit, 17%. Down in market cap, up slightly in volume, and 89% bullish on the community sentiment. And obviously waiting for a few big exchanges, Binance being the obvious one. And maybe right away people are going to complain, well, we are down every single week. I understand it is annoying, but if you have a look, right, most crypto projects are down, right? Here, I'll draw it out for you guys. Down, very down, keep going down, right? Down. So you can see the trend. Like these cryptos are all following a trend to the downside. So now we have Kaspa. And what is happening on Kaspa? Well, let's do a top to bottom, left to right analysis because we're doing a deep dive. So what do we have? Well, we've established that we are in a bearish trend, right? Very easy to see. I'm going to draw that out. So we have our highs and then we have our lows. And this is on the weekly time frame. You can do this on the daily. You can do this on the 4-hourly. It will pretty much be the same. We have a lower high, then we have a lower low. Then we have a lower high, then we have a lower low. And then a lot of people are going to say, well, we have a higher low here. Yes, we do. However, we have, once again, a lower high, and then we get another lower low, right? And I always say that one higher high or one higher low or one whatever doesn't change the structure of a project instantaneously, right? This was a fake out. Right? This was a fake out because the trend overall was still bearish, right? We can see that the trend was bearish. Maybe it wasn't, perfect structure like this, but it was still bearish. So maybe a lot of people got faked out by this higher low that was formed from this low. So we've established that we are bearish, right? We've established our highs, we've established our lows. Now, what is this purple zone? This purple zone is what we call a fair value gap, a weekly fair value gap. So it is from wick to wick, and it is an imbalance in price. A lot of the times, price will either respect it and push back up or break below it and reject in the opposite direction. So we can have a look at Kaspa and we can see that perfectly, right? We formed our imbalance. And then price started going towards it. And funny enough, right? No surprise to me. We tapped into this zone and we pushed back up. But because we are bearish and we are in a bearish trend, there is not enough momentum for us to go higher up, right? And even though price does respect it, and it gives us that push to the upside, on the higher time frame analysis, we know that we are still bearish, right? And why do we know that? Because these pushes to the upside, they are just giving us lower highs, right? They are not forming higher highs. they are forming lower highs. So yes, we are respecting this zone, but we understand that price is still bearish. And because of that, it is going to most likely retest again and break through. And that's exactly what has happened now. We have broken through, we have closed below, right? We've closed below. And now, just as market does, we have retested and we are getting the push back to the downside. The way we did here in a bullish push to the upside, now we get it in the opposite direction for a bearish trend. So where can price head to next? Well, price doesn't just go from a random zone to a random zone, right? It goes to places that make sense and people buy in places that make sense. That's why on CoinMarketCap, you can see the volume is low. People are not buying Kaspa, not because they think it is a bad project or they hate it. They're not buying it because it is in no man's land, right? It is in an area that is neither strong and it is neither weak, right? So they're not going to buy when there is uncertainty. Where they could be buying is what I've drawn out is liquidity right over here. And not only that, but a sweep of liquidity into this zone and then retest to the upside would be a very, very strong confluence that we want to respect this and maybe start shifting bullish. But we have to look at the higher time frame, right? If it respects this area but closes like this, more likely than not, we are going to push even further down until we start forming some higher highs on a weekly time frame. I want to see it on a weekly. We can look at it on a daily, right? On the daily, we are still bearish. It looks a little bit more confusing because, for example, we have formed a higher high from this area, but now we are trending downwards, right? So to keep it simple, you can look at the weekly and it shows a very, very clear picture. So what do we need to see for a bearish reversal? Well, let's just say we do exactly what we would want price to do in a perfect world, which is sweep liquidity, go into a very strong zone, go up, retest it, and then start making higher highs, right? So we're going to have to target our first high here somewhere, and then we're going to be looking for these two highs. And once those highs get taken, more likely than not, we're going to close back above this fair value gap and start pushing to the upside. Now, when is this going to happen? I don't know. You don't know. The best trader on Wall Street, the best investor on Wall Street also does not know this. We simply just have to adapt to price. And that is another thing that I want to discuss is a lot of the times, especially in crypto, people love making very big, bold predictions, right? Oh, Kaspa in 2026, it's going to hit $3. By the way, guys, the thumbnail, I get this question all the time. The thumbnail is just a thumbnail. The number on the thumbnail is not what I think Kaspa is going to go to in the next couple of days. This is what this analysis is for, is to understand where I think Kaspa is going. It just looks better than having 0.065000 on the thumbnail. Now, maybe I'm wrong. If you guys think it is better for me to put, for example, let's just say I think price is going back to 0.07, I can do that. No problem. Just let me know in the comments what you guys want to see, right? So I don't even remember what I was saying before that little rant, but basically, yeah, we are going to have to push to the downside, start forming higher highs, and then go up. And we have to always adapt and we always have to be ready. So I like having buying zones prepared. So my buying zone would be in this area, right? If price gets here, I'm ready. I'm not panicking. I am ready to click the button to buy, invest, trade, whatever it is that you plan on doing. You have to be prepared. I hate being unprepared. I hate panicking and rushing into the market, especially when you're playing with money, especially playing with your hard-earned money that you don't want to lose. Now, maybe a lot of people have already invested, for example, in this area, right? Because I did say that this is a strong buying zone, but we have broken below because the bearish trend is so bad. Don't panic, guys. I have also scaled in on positions and I am red. But if we think about altcoin season and where price could go, which is the highs, why is there panic, right? So let's just say from here to here, I'm down 30% on my profit, right? Or my investment. But then I'm going to be up 260%. Maybe I'm going to scale in again, and then I'm going to be up 600%, right? So scaling in, buying the dips is natural. It's part of the game. Being in a loss is part of the game. There is no shame in it. There's no stress in it. That is just how the markets work. But markets rebalance itself. And especially when we start getting a bullish momentum shift, that's when we are really going to go up. Now, the last thing I think I want to talk about before calling off the video and not going too crazy, because there's so many technical terms and things that you can look at, right? There's MACD, there's EMAs, there's fib levels, there's order blocks, there's BPRs, there's all kinds of things, and this is not what I want to do. I don't want to overcomplicate things. I just want to use the strongest and simplest things for you guys to understand the market. So the last thing I want to talk about is liquidity, right? Because I said we have liquidity here. And maybe some of you guys are going to say, well, we have stronger liquidity. And yes, we do. This is obviously our strong liquidity zone. Why? Because it took out everything, right? All of this liquidity was swept from this candle. But this is a manipulation candle. And are we sure that price is going to go all the way down here, sweep it, and then give us the push to the upside? It's unknown, right? That is going to be very low. That is a long way to go. Is it possible? Yes. Some altcoins have already rebalanced this candle. Some aren't even close. Some are not going to do it, right? And Kaspa could be one of those. We just have to adapt. This is the liquidity I see that's coming next, close to a zone. If we keep getting this bearish momentum and we keep getting lower highs, yes, then we can start seeing this area. And here I am very confident if we sweep it, price is going to give us a strong reaction because there's a lot of buy limits in that area. So I think that is everything I wanted to cover in this video. If you guys have any questions at all about anything that I said, any terms, maybe there's something you want me to explain. Maybe there is things that I didn't use, like the fib levels, that maybe you would want me to use, right? Understanding how this works, understanding these numbers. I can do that for you guys. No problem. Just let me know in the comments, because if you don't let me know, I'm blind and I don't know what you guys want, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you did, hit that like button, comment, Kaspa to the moon, questions, concerns, hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to me. Make sure you guys do your own research because I am not a financial advisor, and I'll see everybody in the next video.